Republican election officials around the country have a message for their party after weeks of unfounded claims of election fraud. Stop. These officials say the false claims have led to harassment and to dangerous threats. NBC political reporter Vaughn Hilliard joins us now from Gainesville, Georgia. That's about an hour northeast of Atlanta. Also with us is NBCNews.com political reporter Jane Timm. Jane, let me start with you, particularly with election officials who've been through long hours and long days with this pandemic. Now these threats are ramping up. There are officials in Arizona and Nevada and other states who are now pushing back on the pushback and asking their colleagues to let these threats go, including Gabriel Sterling, who is an election official in Georgia. Here's part of what he had to say.
It has to stop. Mr. President, you have not condemned these actions or this language. Senators, you have not condemned this language or these actions. This has to stop. We need you to step up, and if you're going to take a position of leadership, show some. You need to step up and say this, is stop inspiring people to commit potential acts of violence. Someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to get shot, someone's going to get killed.
And Jane, Georgia's Secretary of State is backing him up on this. So what's going on here? Where does this stand?
You know, we've had weeks of the president saying the election was stolen from him, and that has continued to rile up his supporters who are sending phone calls. They are talking, sending tweets. They're sending emails. They're sending all kinds of different harassing messages to election officials around the country. And election officials are the kind of people who are usually behind the scenes. They want to, get the systems running and the absentee ballots out. They don't want to be in the spotlight. And I think Mr. Sterling's remarks really just gave, was an emotional valve here. I mean, when you read those quotes, they are not the same as when you hear the pain in his voice. He talked about people going on to the Secretary of State's property, doing sexualized threats to the Secretary of State's wife. I mean, these are really, really upsetting incidents for these election officials who do this work. And many of them are volunteers or lowly paid poll workers doing this work because they believe in democracy. So this is continued for many more weeks than I think people expected. Most people expected maybe a couple of days of this. It's a polarized election, but this is really, it's at a hand, as Sterling said.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.